Leaving the hologram and releasing time. July 22, 2013. We the Arcturians hear the collective call from those of you on ascending Earth who have attended meetings on our mothership while in your night bodies. Many of you had a brief memory of this visit upon waking, but quickly forgot everything but a vague image. However, many of you had a dream just before you awoke. This dream was an energy package, much like a syllabus of a lecture that was placed in your consciousness. I will now translate this energy package into a third-dimensional language. Many of you had a dream of a being of light taking your hand and asking you if you were ready to leave the hologram. Before you could answer, we informed you that you would leave your holographic reality on automatic run, which means that the third-dimensional hologram would appear that you were still there. Then you would return a few seconds before you left. Hence, you would leave the hologram by leaving time and returning seconds before you left. Once you left the third-fourth dimensional limitation of time, your resonance returned to your innate fifth-dimensional light body. You then had many images of walking through your daily life. However, you could walk through all forms of matter. To your perception, when you walked through matter, the molecules of matter would temporarily disperse. Then the molecules would return to their prior form once you had moved through that object. This phenomenon occurred because you were out of sync with your third-dimensional, holographic reality. Since you were resonating to a higher frequency than the matter of your environment, you were not limited by any physical structures. To the perception of those resonating to the third-dimensional hologram, nothing unusual was occurring. In fact, they believed that they saw you walking around the obstacles. Since third-dimensional belief creates the illusion of third-dimensional reality, that is what they saw. I will now guide you into an expanded version of this exercise. I say exercise because this experience was merely a lesson for you to realize that you could leave time and return without ever appearing to have left. In this manner, you will begin to remember how to bilocate from third-dimensional Earth to your higher frequency realities. When you bilocate, you appear to be in both realities at once, but you have shifted your dominant state of consciousness from one reality to another. To leave the time hologram and bilocate to a higher dimension of reality, place your Earth vessel in a safe place. In other words, make sure you are sitting in a safe place and not walking or driving. Believe that you can leave time to travel interdimensionally. Trust that your imagination is real. Step out of time as simply as you may step out of your shoes. As you step out of time, you step out of your Earth vessel. Therefore, turn around and look at your Earth vessel. Tell your body that you will be back 1 second before you left, which you will. This experience is not the same as astral travel. You are not in your fourth-dimensional astral body, for that is a component of the hologram. Instead, you are out of time, and thus out of the hologram. You are now experiencing reality via your multidimensional consciousness. Your body is in a safe place, and you will return 1 second before you left. Hence, your Earth vessel can easily maintain life support while you are away. When you release the illusion of time, you remember that your multidimensional consciousness can travel throughout any time or space of any of your incarnations that you have experienced. At first you may appear to be limited to visiting your own incarnations. However, after you have accustomed yourself to this type of travel, you will no longer need the marker of one of your own Earth vessels. These markers incarnations are similar to video games. The player must have an avatar self, your Earth vessel, in order to log into that game, as well as a programmer self, your higher self, to take charge of creating your own life. Many of you ascending ones have created very difficult video game lives. You created this life because you realized it was the life in which you would have the opportunity to leave the hologram and return home to your multidimensional self. Consequently, you wanted to clear up any unfinished business. If you can remember that you created your life before you were born, it will assist you in releasing any remnants of feeling like a victim. Once you expand your consciousness from the avatar within the game to the programmer of the game, you can create the game in which you ascend. You were all very brave to choose such difficult earthly challenges. Also, from the perspective of your higher self, it was easy to forget how very challenging life could be in a third-dimensional reality. Fortunately, as you continue to remember more of your multidimensional self, it becomes increasingly natural to remember that you are visiting your time-bound 3D Earth, but you are a multidimensional being who simultaneously lives in myriad realities. We see that many of you are remembering multiple expressions of your multidimensional self. Therefore, I will assist you to remember yourself in a higher dimensional reality. In this case, it will be the reality of fifth-dimensional New Earth. Direct your intention and attention to the higher frequency expression of your multidimensional self living on New Earth. This fifth-dimensional experience of self is very similar to the self that you are in your present incarnation. Allow yourself to imagine that you are visiting and/or living on the New Earth. Surrender into your imagination so that you can believe that this fifth-dimensional person is you. You do not need to follow a sequential process, as you are merely shifting your dominant state of consciousness into a higher frequency of your multidimensional self. Once you have shifted your perception of self to your fifth-dimensional expression, you have automatically left time. Time, as you know it, does not exist in a fifth-dimensional resonance of reality. All you need do is believe that you are that self. See that self before you and transfer the primary focus of your consciousness on yourself on New Earth. Think that you are in the fifth dimension, and use your loving emotions to merge into yourself within that reality. Trust that your imagination is your fifth-dimensional thought, and remember that your thoughts and emotions create your reality. Know that it may take a while for your third-dimensional thinking to remember how to perceive this frequency of reality. Therefore, surrender into this imaginary experience so that it can take form within your consciousness. Many of you have already left the hologram of 3D Earth and have transitioned into this higher expression of yourself, but you are not aware of this shift because your thinking is still third-dimensional. Hence, your consciousness is actually fifth-dimensional, but your thinking is still third-dimensional. However, you are quite happy about the myriad ways in which your world is changing. Those of you who are the openers of the portals into the higher expressions of Gaia are conscious of your transition. You remember your meditations and purposeful intentions toward aligning your consciousness with the higher frequencies of energy in order to assist Gaia in her transition. Therefore, you are actively awaiting the release of the many restricted patents. You are aware of the great increase in UFO sightings and actively wait for the landings to begin. You also know that these landings will only be perceivable to those who can accept and believe that the landings were real. Many people walk alongside you that are completely unaware of these changes. Their body was resonating to the expanding frequencies of Gaia, but their thinking is still locked in the limitations of the third dimension. These ones need your help. If they cannot align their consciousness with the higher frequencies of New Earth, they will not be able to remain in this frequency of Earth. These people are loving and kind. Otherwise, they could not resonate to this reality. However, their thinking is still trapped in the beliefs of a reality that has ended. You can kindly talk to these people and tell them what is happening. Now, holding this timeline in your consciousness, return to the remnants of your third-dimensional reality. Feel how exhausted you are with that low frequency of third-dimensional reality. Remember that you are ready to return and have already returned to a higher expression of yourself. Yet, you still wonder how that will occur, and your wondering creates doubt. This doubt lowers your consciousness, and you are no longer able to perceive New Earth around you. Therefore, release the concept of time from your awareness and live only in the now. Within the now there is no future to move into and no past that has hindered your way. Within the now, you are yourself in your daily life. Hence, remember to relax into each moment that you are experiencing while you continue to release your third-dimensional thinking. Release the concepts of how, when and where. Surrender to your confusion. Surrender to your desires. Surrender to your fatigue, and surrender to your thinking. Release the time-bound, cause and effect reality that has become too small for you. Feel yourself and be your true, multidimensional self now. You are New Earth. Channeled by Suzanne Lee. SuzanneLeePhD.blogspot.co.uk